Breaking news as we come on the air. Human remains have been found off of Georgia Highway 280 in Wilcox County. Officials telling us tonight they believe the remains are that of Charles Grimsley Jr., who's been missing since August. No word on how the man died. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation is now helping in that investigation.
Dad, I'm sitting here today in the U.S. Capitol talking to our elected professionals is proof that you made the right decision 40 years ago to leave the Soviet Union and come here to the United States of America in search of a better life for our family. Do not worry. I will be fine for telling the truth.
The National Security Council's top Ukraine expert testifying on Capitol Hill today. The House committee gathered evidence on the possible impeachment of President Trump and interrogated 4 Trump administration officials. Sinclair investigative reporter James Rosen has the new details.
Ambassador Kurt Volker, a former special envoy to Ukraine, and Tim Morrison, formerly the top Russia officer on the National Security Council, diverged in their testimony before the impeachment committee late Tuesday, differing in their assessments of President Trump's conduct in the now famous call of July 25th, when Mr. Trump asked Ukraine's president to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden as part of an apparent exchange for U.S. military aid.
I don't think that raising 2016 elections or Vice President Biden or these things I consider to be conspiracy theories, they're not things that we should be pursuing as part of our national security strategy with Ukraine.
Mr. Morrison, I want to turn our attention back to the July 25th call. You were in the room. Did anything concern you on the call?
No.
But you would agree, right, that asking a foreign government to investigate a domestic political rival is inappropriate, would you not?
It's not what we recommended the president discuss.
But Chairman Adam Schiff extracted a key admission from Morrison.
Nonetheless, this was the first and only time where you went from listening to a presidential call directly to the national security lawyer, is it not?
Yes, that's correct.
In a 4-hour morning session, an aide to Vice President Pence and an Army officer detailed to the NSC testified they believe the president's request of Ukraine represented a, quote, improper conflation of national security with partisan politics. President Trump himself accused the Democrats leading the inquiry of perpetrating a scam on the American people.
They're doing something that the founders never thought possible and the founders didn't want.
On Wednesday, the Intelligence Committee will hear from the biggest witness thus far, Gordon Sondland, the ambassador to the European Union, whom other witnesses have portrayed as working hand in glove with President Trump to influence the Ukrainian government. On Capitol Hill, James Rosen.
President Trump was on the defensive today after Democrats held those impeachment inquiry hearings as administration officials were testifying about allegations the president pressured Ukraine to dig up dirt on Joe Biden. President Trump fired back while speaking one-on-one with Sinclair's chief political correspondent, Scott Thuman. He joins us now. Scott, the president telling you these hearings are getting in the way of passing legislation.
Well, the president today angrily cited impeachment hearings for why laws aren't getting passed on Capitol Hill, specifically talking about a large trade agreement between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. And he squarely laid the blame on Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
A lot of people on Capitol Hill will argue that they can walk and chew gum at the same time. As you know, you do, of course, have
She can't. She's not putting it up for a vote. Look, at some point, I'm going to lose Mexico. I'm going to lose Canada. They've been waiting. They're asking me, is that deal ever going to get approved? Put it up for a vote. She doesn't have to even talk to the Democrats. They're going to vote for it.
Senator Mitch McConnell has said that he doesn't see any way in which his chamber votes to remove you from office. Do you look at the Senate now as a safety net?
I agree with him because I did nothing wrong. I agree with Mitch. If Mitch said that, I think it's a great statement.
President Trump, though, confirming to me today that he is strongly considering submitting written testimony to answer questions in the impeachment inquiry. In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
Thanks to Scott for that report. Jeff Cox with you in the Skywatch Weather Center on this Tuesday night. A chilly night, but tolerable. The one exception, Dublin. You have been different all day long down in Lawrence County. You're down to 39 right now. That's pretty incredible stuff. We'll call it the 40s for the rest of the region. So 47 right now in Macon, 46 in Dublin. So yeah, the 40s are pretty much the theme right now. Let's take you down to Dublin. Not only going to talk about them, we'll show it to you. Boy, it's a chilly ride along 441, but a clear sky and a calm wind, and for whatever reason, they've decided to really cool off quickly this evening. So generally speaking, I think most of us will stay in the 40s overnight. Dublin, you'll choose to be different tonight. So here's the school day forecast. Low 40s at the bus stop, low 60s by lunchtime, and mid 60s for the ride home with plenty of sunshine. All right, later in the half hour, we are tracking our next weather system, the timing and what it brings to the area. I've got an updated outlook for Thanksgiving, and this is something we haven't talked about in a while, a tropical update. Well, obviously, there's something to talk about because it's back in the headlines. We'll go over that, plus your 10-day forecast. That's still to come.
Upgrades, money spent, and final votes. Discussion among Make and Bib commissioners getting a little heated tonight. WGXA's Jayla Whitfield was there. Jayla, some of the talks focused on Rosa Parks Square. Now, these funds would be provided by the sale of the Willie Hill Annex building, and 2 commissioners were not on board.
Again, I'm for the project. I think it's worthy, and unfortunately, the cost is high.
It's hard for me to imagine $900,000 worth of improvements to Rosa Parks Square.
It will help to form the centerpiece of this area down here with the new hotels and the other things that are taking place. So I would just encourage us to go ahead and approve this.
And the things like this that we keep spending money on, we don't have it laid out for what it's going to be spent on. I can't vote for something for $900,000, almost $1 million, and not know what we're voting for.
Regardless of the controversy, the item passed. The Make and Bib Commission will support the Urban Development Authority with these improvements, costing about $900,000. Now, Valerie Wynn and Mallory Jones voted against the Rosa Parks renovations. Well, for 25 years, a Middle Georgia woman didn't know who her father was. In a story you'll only see here, how she was able to piece together the decades-old mystery.